You know what happened this morning, Paul?
The sun came up.
Rockets also went up, or it's just
Oh, I was
another
aware of rockets. What rockets went up?
another SpaceX one. I enjoy watching this. It's on the bucket list to somehow at some point when we can travel outside the confines of our neighborhood to go watch rockets again. And
Yeah. Wouldn't you love to go to I don't know. I guess they're not all in Florida anymore, but go watch a rocket, like actually go see one.
yeah, I want to do that really bad. Like, and then I
Yeah.
was thinking too, is like, you know what? I'll just stand pretty close because if it blows up, whatever. Like,
Fuck it. Why do I keep swearing on this podcast? I'm so sorry. It's been this kind of weird.
yeah.
I'm
And
degenerating.
but if it does make it all the way up, then like I got front row seating, and if it doesn't, then that's
Yep.
I wouldn't mind going out that way, just in a big. Like
Sure.
that's,
Sure.
the other interesting thing too, which I find this fascinating, is so SpaceX is launching this like massive constellation of satellites they're calling Starlink that they are boasting is going to bring internet eventually to the entire world.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll ruin the night sky too, but yeah, go on.
Well, I'm actually hoping it'll ruin AT&T along the way. We'll take what we get. But they've said, now granted this is coming from them, that in their current iteration they're getting over 100 megs down with latency low enough for first person shooters. So
What is that? What is that figure? What do we think that is? Yeah, David said. That's interesting. I mean, we obviously here on Earth, any fiber, 5G, something, high triple digit, quad digit
yeah.
number is fine. But the truth is, for this kind of thing and for the day to day work that you and I do, 100, is more than enough. It's great. Like,
All I want, Paul, is just competition. Like that. That's more than anything. I don't care if it's SpaceX. I don't care if Jeff Bezos might be doing it too. Who the hell knows?
yeah,
But just
Yep.
being able to go outside and be able to connect to something other than AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile would just be nice. And
I agree with that 100%. Yep.
the other thing too about SpaceX just is that they've done a good job, at least in their industry currently, of just like slamming the pricing down for actually getting stuff up into space. My hope is that maybe they'll do that for connectivity, and that we'll stop hemorrhaging money to Verizon every month.
No, I mean, Elon Musk has had this impact in the car industry with electric cars, obviously.
Yep.
Sometimes, and unfortunately for space travel, this is a market. This is an area that was just government based until really recently. So that they would suffer from the astronomical prices that is a problem in government generally is not surprising. So
Right.
the privatization of space travel is kind of a weird thing, just because space travel is so new and we're used to it being NASA only. But here in the United States, but it makes sense. I mean, it's we've all seen those sci-fi movies where like Pan Am was flying to the moon or whatever, and Virgin Galactic was a thing or whatever, which I think Virgin Galactic is a thing. But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. But anyways, they just launched a whole bunch more stuff up there. Don't get your telescopes out. Although I think they're painting them black now rather than the bright reflective silver, which you'd think they would have thought that one through. But
Well, that's the problem with stuff in the sky. Yeah. I mean, even look, I live in a rural area, and it's I can't take those night shots with the Pixel because the sky's too bright. Now, that's not because of stuff in the sky.
Yeah.
It's because of light pollution from a nearby city or whatever. But it's hard. When I was a kid, I went out to Utah on a river trip, and I will never forget this. We didn't have the capability to photograph it, but you've seen those galaxy shots where it looks like the galaxy. That's what it's like. I remarked to my father, who took me on this trip, that there were more space in the sky was taken up by stars than by black space.
yeah,
That's how it felt. Like it was just, and we don't really, I mean, obviously there are places where you could see that, but
yeah, I
the
could
United
point out
States,
some in Wyoming. I did that on a recent
you have to go
road trip journey.
Yeah, right. I'm still pissed at you for not taking me on that trip, but but anyway, yeah. So it's cool.
Intel also debuted a new logo because that's what you do when you're kind of coming from behind. Coming from behind is probably a little overselling it, but
you know what it is? Bad things are happening, and you're like, "Hey, look over here! It's pretty and shiny."
Yeah,
That's
when market forces are headwinds, as they call in the financial industry sometimes. Whatever, they announced a new logo. It's whatever. I mean,
hey, we can talk all we want about ARM and blah blah blah. Would you rather run a Qualcomm powered PC at this point or an Intel powered PC? I mean, come on, it's not even
Yeah.
it's not even close.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I honestly, these their new stuff looks great. I mean, the 10th gen is great, 11th gen looks great. I think it's it's all good.
It'll be fine. And then there's also, on the heels of this, the 8CX Gen 2 5G, because there's not enough things in there. But that's the where's my Pro X? I think it's below me. But whatever. That's the follow up to that.
Well, technically, no, it's not.
But
you have you have the Microsoft chip.
Yeah. The SQ one,
which is an offshoot of the 8CX. I mean, so yeah, that was always a little weird to me. Intel or Qualcomm comes out with this new flagship chip for Windows 10 and ARM, and then 2 months later, Microsoft announces, "Oh, by the way, we've been working on this other thing," and it looks like they're roughly comparable. Right?
I guarantee they are. They're probably like a clock speed difference, and Microsoft just is saying we're going to call it our own.
The Gen 2 of the 8CX is apparently, according to Qualcomm, 50% more performance. I'll just point out the fact that when you can have that kind of a performance boost, the thing you had before sucked. So that's not normal for a gen over gen hardware, chipset. But we'll see. Windows 10 and ARM has been a big failure so far, but if they can really get this thing up to a performance point, still deliver what they call multi-day battery life, and if they can ever figure out this x64 thing, that's when the conversation about this kind of platform makes sense.
When you don't know any difference between grabbing an Intel device, an AMD device, or a Qualcomm device.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And then they can all compete on their own. Right now, there's always these asterisks you put on the Qualcomm thing because it's like, well, the drivers aren't there. Doesn't run all the apps. There are big important apps it doesn't run. Like Photoshop. I mean, it's weird.
Yeah.
Delicate.
And then, little surprise here is that Microsoft is bringing Xbox's DirectStorage, I should say, to Windows 10. I mean, nobody saw that coming ever. That's very surprising. I mean, it's
Xbox Series X is sort of a PC, isn't it?
I mean, it's all using PC components. It's got a lot of custom architecture stuff, but they're all PC components at the end of the day. So
the weird thing about this to me is how long it's going to take, because they're talking about getting a developer preview out next year, not this year. And I mean,
let's be clear, they're still trying to get that console out this year. I mean,
no, I know, but I mean, the DirectX guys are different.
Yeah,
I mean, the storage tech in the Xbox Series X has probably been done for months. I mean, I'm just surprised. I sort of expected, first half of next year would be in Windows 10, but I mean, it looks now like the earliest time that could happen would be holiday season 2021. We'll see.
But the good news is, at least, it's just software. So as long as you have a DirectX 12 Ultimate capable card, I believe, you should be just fine. It'll just be a driver update and bada bang, bada boom.
You need like an NVMe drive with certain performance characteristics, I guess. But, gaming PC, you're probably going to have that.
Yeah, that's kind of the highlights, unless you care about emoji keyboards that are using web view so you can hold down control and scroll in.
I don't know if you noticed my passive-aggressive bitch slapping of Microsoft in that article, but every single feature that's new in that build is A/B tested. So it's possible you could install this thing and see nothing new.
That's a good use of your time.
Yeah, they're all separately A/B tested, right? So you could have a matrix of features that you see or don't see depending on, how the wind's blowing, what phase of the moon we're in, whether you sacrificed a chicken. It's all kinds of variables.
Yep.
Oh, we should tell people that this is it for the week.
Yeah, we're mailing it in. Actually, I didn't realize my kid is off school tomorrow and Monday.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think they initially set it up this way, not knowing what was going to happen in the world. Not that we still know what's going to happen, and that they were dedicating this day to being like a transition day or something, like, hey, we think this is going to be sustainable or something. I don't know. It's like a teacher and service day already. So I think the planning was something along.
Maybe they should do one of these every week.
No. Well, we should. We should. My teacher should. I don't want my kid home.
I'm listening. Say the word, Brad. I've been looking for the 4-day work week my entire adult life.
Yep. No, nothing happening between, or no intended podcast between now and Tuesday, unless Microsoft buys TikTok, and then we'll have a 5-minute podcast of us just laughing.
Yeah. To be clear, I'm gonna. My plan is to kind of take tomorrow off, But taking the day off to me means I'm still gonna write. Like I'll write something, but I'm not gonna do the normal stuff I do, like Ask Paul and Short Takes and the podcast. But yes, if TikTok happens, to the point where I was literally thinking, we're going over to my sister's house for some kind of a clam bake thing on. Actually, it might be tomorrow. I don't know if tomorrow or Saturday. It doesn't matter. But I'm like, I'm going to bring a laptop because I don't normally do that.
Yeah,
but
that'll do
I'm
it.
nervous that something's going to happen,
Yeah, I don't
Especially Friday night. Friday night's going to be that's going to be the iffiest time. I'd recommend
not. They
not
announced that Friday night. That is such a
but it's classic Microsoft. After the bell. Right? I'm just saying, if it's going to happen this week, that would be the most logical time. Mary Jo came up with this. I want to be clear. I didn't invent this idea. She said this to me, and I'm like, yep, that totally makes sense. Yep.
So, yep. Well, whatever. We'll see what happens with the TikToks while we don't punch into the click clocks. I don't know.
I just hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, me too.
Come on.